Flight of Air Transit 236 was traveling from Toronto to the Lisbon. It was midnight and plane was on Atlantic Ocean at the height of 39,000 feet. There was nothing strange and everything was normal for the pilots, but there was something going to happen which gonna change the situation on plane. Even at this height, land can't be seen far away. There, pilot suddenly came to know that plane's fuel was about to end. This was very horrible situation for both pilots, because ending of fuel over Atlantic Ocean only means death. Welcome to Incredible World. This incident was happened on August 23, 2001. Air Transit A330 was being prepared to move from Toronto to Lisbon. This was going to be non-stop flight of 7 hours, and that's why fuel tanks filled up to 48 ton. After all preparation, boarding started. The local time was 9 p.m. and 293 passengers with 2 pilots and 13 crew members got in the plane. The flight captain was Robert Pish, who have the experience of 16,000 flight hours. First officer was 28 years old Dark de Jagger, and he also has the experience of 5,000 flight hours. Plane was the A330 model of Airbus, and it was only 2 years old. Overall, neither the experience of pilot was less, nor the plane had any defect. By checking all the system, pilots take off the plane by getting permission from the control tower. After few time, plane was at its cruising altitude 39,000 feet. In such flights, pilots don't have much to do because plane are on their autopilot mode. Pilots just monitor the situation and gave their location to control tower. It's been 4 hours since the pilot took off, and due to night, majority of the passengers were sleeping. Plane was at the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and this was the time when a problem occurred in the plane. Pilot noticed some abnormality in engine number 2. Reading indicated the high oil pressure, low oil quality and low oil temperature. Pilots were seeing such faults for first time in their career. They tried to find out the problem. Normally the temperature of oil is high, but this was showing low temperature, which was not normal at any case. They contacted the control tower, but tower crew also didn't know about this fault. Pilots thought that maybe any sensor was showing wrong reading of the oil, because there was no problem create in the flight. After an hour, pilot again got a message. This was not about the oil, but about the fuel. In commercial airplanes, fuel is equally distributed in their wings. But it was noticed that fuel was not equal in both the wings. Fuel in right wing is less than in left wing. This was also not a big problem, because the fuel level can be made equal even during the flight of plane. That's why captain opened the crossfeed valve. Through that fuel transfer from left wing to right one and level became equal. After 10 minutes of this, pilot saw the sign of low fuel again. They saw that fuel again became low in right wing. Now the situation became serious. Fuel problem is such a problem which any pilot don't want to face. At the center of Atlantic Ocean, these pilots can't divert their plane. Now, they have only one option, which is Azores Island. This island also has an airport. Captain contact with the Santa Maris ATC, and told them they are going to land on this port, due to fuel shortage. But still, pilot didn't know whether they reached the port, or they had to land on the ocean. Only 7-ton fuel remained in the plane. This seems to be very high quantity, but actually it was only 6% of the A230 plane. The point was that, why the fuel was getting low, or the reading was giving incorrect signs. The decrease in the quantity of the fuel can only be possible if it was leaking from only point. But there was no indication of fuel loss. Now, the condition was that every 5 minutes later 1 ton fuel decrease. It is clear to the captain that fuel is decreasing from somewhere. They have only 25-minute fuel left, through which it seems to be impossible to reach Terceira Airport. During this, the captain continuously keep in touch with the control tower. They told captain to took the plane from the 39,000 to the level of 20,000 feet for the confirmation of fuel leakage, but captain refused to do this because he said if the leakage confirmed, then he can't took plane again at this height. After a while, all the doubts gone when one of the plane engine caught fire. That creates a fuss among the passengers. Due to the fire of an engine, altitude of the plane gradually starts decreasing. On the other hand, emergency created on the Terceira airport. Fire brigadiers and other teams got ready to handle the situation. Plane was 240 km far away with only 600 kg fuel left. Finally, the engine got burst, and plane started gliding over the ocean. Plane power failed due to burst of engine. Their good luck that turbine of the plane was generating a certain amount of electricity, through which the main equipments were running. Only 120 km was left to reach the airport, and captain has to cover this airport through gliding. The plan was that, if airplane didn't reach the port then, they landed it on the ocean. Due to this, they started preparing the passengers for this. The altitude of the plane was decreasing 2,000 feet per minute, that mean in next 15 minutes, the plane will land on the port, or in the ocean. When plane was 15 km away from the airport, its altitude was 13,000 feet, normally the altitude must be of 3,000 feet. If pilot did nose dive to low the altitude, then the speed could enhance to very high level, that caused crash landing. That's why pilot gave a circular motion to the plane, due to this altitude became 5,000 feet. This height was still high, but not that high to do another circular motion. Now, pilot gave S-turns to the plane. Due to S-turns distance between plane and airport increased further that, gave the pilot more time to decrease the altitude. At the time of landing, flaps are kept open, that create drag. And engine thrust increased through which nose tip move upward. But this plane didn't have engine thrust, that's why this landing was very different and dangerous landing. Pilot was in a condition of, do or die. At last, plane landed with a huge jerk, and out of 12 8 wheels got burst. It was very difficult to stop the plane but, then it stopped. Just after the plane stopped, fire started on a part of plane that was immediately controlled by the fire brigadiers. This plane is the only plane that glide for a very large time even after the engine burst. After this incident Airbus also installed option through which pilots can know the fuel leakage. After a year Airbus gave these two pilots Superior Airmanship Award for dead stick landing. Hope you will like and share this video, thanks for watching.